Welcome back to the vlog, everybody. We're back in Japan at SAMMIT HQ. And today I'm really excited because we should be finishing up everything on the Bogan 32. But the question that I want to answer first is if the drive shaft that I brought all the way from the USA, which by the way was a massive pain carrying this by myself with my suitcase and everything, but we got it here and that's all that matters, is if it fits and if it fits perfectly. So I want to just say a massive thank you to Driveshaft Pro. They whipped this thing out in like a day and had it sent to me at the track, ready for me to take home. So massive shout out to these guys. They got it done at a crazy fast speed. By the way, if you want a drive shaft made in Japan, minimum 2-month wait and about $2,500. So really grateful that I was able to tee this up with my quick trip to the States for the LZ World Tour, and we got this thing really quick. So we're gonna throw it in and hope that it all fits. Moment of truth. Let's see. Will this fit? This is a big boy, this one. Come on, get in the hole. Oh, she's in. Oh, I think we're in luck, lads. I think we're in luck. Perfect. Very happy with this. Get the bolts in and we're ready to rip. Oh, I'm so excited. It's like perfect. It's a beefy boy though. She's a big, thick boy. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so excited we got the drive shaft sorted out. It's the biggest thing. All right, let me get these 4 bolts in because I'm paranoid that that's gonna fall off. And we're good. We also just put a stabilizer in. We got that off Yahoo Auctions. This car had no stabilizer in the rear, which explains why this thing felt so wishy-washy all over the place. But yeah, this car is gonna be insanely good. All right, let's get everything bolted in and then we can start thinking about putting the exhaust on. We're working on getting the clutch pedal and the brake pedal in for the manual conversion. And pro tip is to always reinforce these. You can see I just did a bunch of tacks around all of the factory points. You can see on the inside there as well. And that just strengthens these up. These have a massive problem of braking, which is why Nismo released their own version of this that was reinforced. And we're pretty much just doing the same thing. We're just tack welding every seam, making sure it's all good. You can see we did there, and there, and should be mint. These were a little harder to get. I probably should have cleaned it first, and the welder was probably a bit too hot, but we got in there, tacked her out inside and outside. Should be mint. These tacks I'm pretty proud of right there. They're kind of nice. But yeah, this shouldn't give us any problems now. We should be mint. And Daiki, I think, is working on putting all like the boots and stuff for the factory shifter. We actually have a bunch of stuff from GK Tech. They actually sell the OEM replacement parts now. So obviously it's very hard to get some of these parts from Nissan. So GK Tech just started making them from scratch, which is awesome. So you can just buy these. So the full shifter assembly, like rubber boots, you just get from GK Tech OEM, because Nissan doesn't have them anymore. And they come with bolts, nice. A little stay. You can get a brand new stay as well. It's stronger than the OEM one. It's great. Daiki fought for about an hour or so and got the automatic pedal out. We got the manual one to go in, and anyone who owns a Skyline or a Sylvia, you probably know why we have a 1 yen coin JB welded there, because yeah, they get fatigued, the little rubber ones, and they always fall out. It's just easy to put like a little coin there, and yeah, that works just as good in my opinion. Anyways, I'm gonna put this one in. And that to you. He's the smallest person here. So he's pretty much qualified for the job. And he's gonna get that in. I've been working on the oil cooler. Now at first, I was hoping we could get away using this super cheap Chinese just thing where we didn't need to actually relocate the oil filter. But because of how big this whole section is, it hits on the block and it just doesn't go flush anywhere. So I can't put this on, which then meant that I rummaged through all of my spare parts, found an oil filter relocation kit. The oil filter's going here. I'm pretty proud of that. I think it looks nice. And now I've got to come up with lines to go from there to the block and then from there to the oil cooler. So yeah, we're not using a thermostated one. I did have one of these spare as well. This is a HKS unit with a thermostat built into there. These are for cars that you care about. I don't care about this, it's the Bogan 32, so it's getting a non-thermostat oil cooler relocation kit, which is fine. It's just you gotta make sure your car actually warms up before bashing on it. A bunch of time has now passed, but as you can see, we've gotten a lot done. We've got the intercooler all mounted up in there. I got the oil cooler all finished and mounted up. You can see the filter relocations looking really nice there. Pretty much everything I used was fittings and hoses and stuff left over from the abandoned S15 engine bay, and a bunch of stuff left over from like when I used to do stuff on the Skyline back in my driveway, like old just cheap China copy parts. And the reason why I wanted to use that stuff is because I want to keep this car as cheap as possible, going with the whole backyard mechanic Bogan kind of, you know, style with this thing. So I wanted to keep it true to that. But yeah, everything's all rigged up. Everything's nice and firm. There's a lot of space and clearance for everything. We're just working, looking at intercooler piping. Yes, I did cut the hole here, but that's because this never had a hole here. So we're just kind of like figuring out how we're going to run it. And I took some photos to send to the fab guy. And that way we'll get some intercooler piping fabbed up soon. We'll probably end up just dropping this off at his shop and getting it all done. But essentially what we're going to do is a 45 out of here, and then another kind of 45 to bring it straight here. And then from there, it'll be like another 45 kind of rotated down a bit into this guy. And then, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. We're going to be using a 90 straight up and into there. So we should be good. But this is going to actually end up sitting a little lower, so it clears the bonnet, and they got to notch this in the back again to make it suit. But yeah, it'll probably be a lot better when that's sitting a little lower. It'll just be like kind of a short radius 90 probably coming up and straight into that, and we'll be good. And it's all pretty straightforward. I think this is going to go together really, really smooth. I'm really happy that we were able to just kind of use a lot of stuff that was lying around. And we're going to be able to pretty much use all this old intercooler piping, I think, too, and make use of it so that, you know, we're still using used and secondhand parts and still going along with the theme as well. But one thing I forgot to mention is that pretty much most of the time for the last few hours we spent on the pedals. The brake pedal I bought was advertised on Yahoo as a R32 Skyline manual pedal, but after we put it in, we realized that the pedal was sitting about 5 to 8 centimeters like too high, and the arm wasn't as long as it should have been. So it looks like it was meant for a Sylvia, and the arm didn't have a kink in it either. It was like straight down, so it was in a really weird position. It bolted straight in, but it was very clear that it was not meant for this car, and it didn't line up with any of the other pedals we had. So we ended up just cutting the automatic pedal and making that the same size as the automatic, as the manual pedal, so that the rubber and stuff could go around. But this is what we ended up going with. You can see here, brake pedal right there. I ended up putting that thing on there that came on the other manual pedal, just so that can hold the rubber on, because I mean, we cut the automatic one to suit, but it is still a little bit bigger than the OEM size. So we just put that on there so that there was actually not going to be an issue. But yeah, we should be good. Clutch is on here. We got to bleed that still, but she's good. She gets stuck to the floor because it needs to be bled. But yeah, we should be good to mess around and get this thing working. The only other thing that we need to do is I have to deal with this weird lockout stuff for the automatic, which I believe is just cutting the wires and grounding it, and then should be good. But I'll double check that and Google it. But yeah, essentially when this thing is held up, it tells the car that you can take the key out of the ignition. But yeah, I believe we can either connect these two wires together, or you just connect one of them to ground, and it'll no longer do that, and it'll just react like a manual car. So that's what we definitely need to do. And I need to unplug all this because this is just no longer necessary. I mean, I don't think this button will do anything. So funny. Oh, I love this stuff. Anyways, we're going to take all this automatic wiring stuff out and clean it up, and then that'll be it. But fully manual converted now. We got the pedal and everything to go with it. So in the Link ECU, it's pretty easy to set everything up, and they have really good documentation online. But I finished setting up the trigger. Dude, so easy to start now. There we go, and you can see trigger 1 and trigger 2 are in sync. See that nice green light there saying yes? We're in, baby. I'm gonna wait till this warms up a little bit, and then I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. So I've got pretty much idle all dialed in now, and it's amazing how smooth this thing runs now that we actually have a trigger, wheel, and the coil packs. Especially with the Link ECU, we've got this thing dialed really nice. It's idling and staying consistently at 950 RPM, which is perfect. Everything is just working as it should, and it's just, I mean, what more can I say? It used to be on a distributor, but now it's running on coils. I'm really hyped. Got the AFRs dialed in even better for idle. You can see it doesn't want to die as easy as it did before. Nice, perfect. So it's not going too lean. You can hear like the kind of like crackles and pops that are a little gone now. So we're idling at around 14.7, which is great. And now let's have a bit of fun. So you can see on the decel, we come through these two zones. So I've just retarded ignition timing on decel so that we can get a couple big bangs, but let's see if it works. Woo! That was a big boy. Oh my gosh. I love how easy it is to mess around with stuff like this. Let's see what we can do. Okay, yeah, that's too loud. That sounds like a gunshot. We need to stop that. I'm gonna have the police here in 5 minutes. We'll make sure this thing shoots flames out the back so we're a little less ignorant. But the car's running really good. It's idling even smoother now that we added a bit more fuel. Things are still a little bit messy in the engine bay. I just put a silencer in, just used a safety wire to kind of hold that in because it is pretty late. It's a little past midnight. I've got jet lag for the like 3 to 4 days that I was in the States. It pretty much was enough for me to reset, and then I've come back here and now I've got to reset again. So it's probably going to be a couple days before we're good, but I want to make sure that this thing's not super loud and bothering any neighbors. Although we are in an industrial area, so I don't think that's a problem. That though, I just used the power bleeder and tried to suck out as much air as I could out of the clutch line because I want to make sure that we can get these rear wheels spinning and that nothing's wrong with the clutch or anything like that, and we have full pressure. I think this is the first time I've used a power bleeder and it actually bleed the clutch properly. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I was like really skeptical that it was never going to work, but it works. So I'm going to take my hand off the handbrake, unlock that. We're gonna fire this thing up and I'm gonna see if the rear wheels move. All right, here we go. Clutch in. Are we gonna hear the disc? Oh, I hear the disc. It goes into gear. Are we good? Oh, we good. We good. We're good. We're good. Second. Ooh. I'm excited. It's manual. It's officially a manual. Oh, that sounds good. Can't get over how quiet it is with that silencer. And listen to this. I mean, it probably still sounds loud, but it's pretty quiet. Look at that, she moving. Third. We got third gear. What about fourth? We got fourth gear. Fifth. Oh yeah, we good. Transmission do be sounding a bit loud. It does have dog gears. I think the dog gears are first, second, third though. And then we have reverse, I think. Let's make sure reverse works. Oh yeah, we're good. Yeah, she's mint. Transmission, clutch, and everything works. You can hear the disc too. That's super single. Perfect. Man, I'm so excited. The clutch engagement point is great. I can't believe the power bleeder actually worked. That's the first time ever. Yeah, I think it's second and third that's the dog gears, because that's the only ones that whine. It's hard to tell. We'll know for sure when we take it for the track, to the track and put a load on it. But we got it moving. The only thing that we should do now is maybe put the front wheels on, take it off the lift, and just move it around the shop if we really want to. Oh, by the way, I worked out how to unlock this with the auto stuff. You don't actually need to ground any wires. All I had to do was actually unplug all those switches, and then it worked fine. So I think the reason why it works like that for me is because I've changed to a manual wiring harness and a link ECU. If you're sticking to a stock ECU, I believe you still need to like connect those wires and stuff like that. But for me, it's totally fine and no problem. So we're good. Now, I kind of really want to put this thing on the ground and just feel it moving. Check, there's no transmission oil leaks. I think we're good. We're good there. Propeller shaft didn't make any weird noises. The diff didn't make any weird noises. So I think we're good. The only thing is we still need to finish up the intercooler piping and stuff tomorrow, which we don't need it on the lift for. That will all get done. I did also add my little hack for water sprayers. I just tied those in to here, which is for the windshield washer. So you just kind of push the button on the dash if the car gets too hot and you need to cool it down. So that's my little hack there. Just got a little sprayer here and a little sprayer there, and just spray straight onto the radiator. But yeah, we should be good. Everything is pretty good. Everything's working fine. I haven't found a single leak on anything. That's the thing I forgot. I need to make the bracket for the coil packs. That's the last thing I need to do. But technically the car moves on its own weight and power now, I think, which is really exciting. For this thing has pretty much been stuck here for quite a while now. It looks good. Just checking under here that nothing leaked or anything, because we haven't, like, we just filled the transmission with oil and the diff, so looks good to me. The other thing I wanted to ask you guys is what should I do in the rear here? Because I can get some different sized wheels that tuck this nicely when we roll the guard, but I'm also starting to think maybe I should just get over fenders for it. I know we're starting to like get a little out of control with this car just being a missile and a cheap budget car, but I'm just thinking like I really want to fit 265s on this. I think if I get a little bit more of a bigger offset, because I have a lot of space before this will touch the coilover, so maybe if I just get the right size wheels for this, being a Skyline, and then maybe it'll fit and we'll roll this guard. But these are 10.5s and they're way too big. I think we're going to be probably maxed out at like 9.5, suck it in another inch, and then a little bit more. So I think these are plus 20. If we got plus 30 or 35 and brought them in, then I think it should be great. But yeah, this is definitely a little hangy going. This is definitely going to hit when it's on the ground, so we definitely need to try and suck these wheels in a little bit in the rear. The front's also an issue. I think I'm just going to get cheap, like knockoff wide fenders, FRP fiberglass fenders, just because we're running an angle kit, got 25mm extended lower arms, so the front wheels stick out a fair bit, and we have to run spacers too, just for the angle kit so we don't hit anything. So these things are like sticking out pretty crazy as well. So I think we need to definitely put the over fenders in the front. And that way these really nice metal over fenders don't get messed up. Apparently this silver GT badge is somewhat rare. So I'll feel a little better about myself if we don't trash those with the front wheels smacking into them and us having to cut them and roll them. But I don't know, FRP fenders are like $250, so I'll just throw those on and I think we'll be good. Take these off and then this thing will be kind of a... And then I want to paint the car, I guess, too, if it's going to be white and silver because of the aero. Oh, I don't know. Oh my God, I don't even know what to do. I don't want to cut these rear fenders, but I'm kind of now like, why don't we just do it? Help me, guys. I'm falling down the rabbit hole again. Anyways, a bunch of progress on the Bogan 32 today. I was hoping that we would have everything kind of done today bar the intercooler piping and the downpipe, but we definitely got held up on the brake pedal and the clutch pedal. That just took way longer than anticipated. You just have no space under there, and then we bolted in the completely wrong one just because the parts we ordered and bought were told to be something that they weren't. Which happens. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. It happens all the time. But yeah, I'm really trying to like focus on getting our builds done quicker than we used to. I'm trying to make sure that we don't start a build until we have everything that we need for it. So that's just kind of like 3 or 4 videos, bam, all done in one hit, instead of it being spaced super far out across like the next 6 months. So that's why I'm like just focusing, getting this thing sorted. Once that's done, it's done. And then we move on to the next one, finish that one, move on to the next one, finish that one, and then that one will be there. I think really the only thing I want to get done next is I want to finish that, finish that, finish that, and then in between all of this, that's going to go to the paint shop and get finished. By then, we can get this done and build something super cool with this thing, and then we can move on to a really cool build that I've been keeping secret that I do not want to even talk about, show you, reveal, or anything until we are finished with every car in this shop right now. Because once that's done, then we can get started full send into that other build, reveal the car, have all the parts ready to go, so that then all we have to do is reveal video, from the reveal video to maybe May's reaction video, because you guys always seem to love her reaction to me getting new cars. And then from there, we go into the build series, and it's just like a week of non-stop build videos. The car's finished, it's done, we get the result, ready. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. I want to like have nothing longer than like 2 weeks of a build on the channel. So I'm really trying to like sort all of these out first, so that then we can get into that flow, because that's probably one of the biggest things that I've struggled with, especially considering like I bought so many cars in such a short period of time. When we were at the old shop, I didn't have any staff to help me, and I was just one person by myself, on top of, you know, just all these opportunities just kept coming up that I couldn't say no to. And I know you guys can't blame me. You all have the same issue as I do, which is car cane. And like, there's just no way that you would say no to, you know, $1,800 32 Skyline, or $3,500 S15 abandoned in the jungle of Okinawa that had insane parts on it, and the shell wasn't even in that bad condition. Like, I know you'd want to save it. So, you know, I know you guys would have done the same thing at the end. But anyways, I'm talking a lot. We need to wrap up today's video. Guys, I hope you're excited for the Bogan 32. The thing is sounding better than it ever has. I'm super excited, and I cannot wait till this thing is done, and it's gonna be on the dyno probably early next week, and this thing spinning up. We're gonna have Jimmy Oakes remote in. He's gonna help with the tune, and we're gonna get this thing making some power, and we're gonna see what it wants to do and doesn't want to do. Hopefully it doesn't go bang, because if it goes bang, then this project gets dragged out a little bit longer, and we're putting an like an RB20 det in it, or a 25, which I don't want to do, but hopefully 20E will sing, and she'll stay singing for a long time. Thanks for watching today's video. Smash that like button, write us a comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to head over to SAMMIT.net and grab yourself some of the new merch. We've got the new Scrapable Dice shirt and the new Bogan 32 shirt. So make sure you go grab some while stocks last. We're actually nearly sold out on some sizes. So make sure you grab them while you still can. And I'll see you all in the next video, where this thing will be on the ground, moving on its own power, and probably going to be getting the intercooler piping and stuff like that all sorted out on it as well. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.